This is it, guys. Everything you work towards in the off season, 2 months in preparation for this big, humongous race that is coming up on Sunday. It is all on the line. It is now sunset. It is dark time, and we are here with 18 drivers that want to be in this Daytona 500 more than anything, and 2 drivers are only guaranteed to get in through it. Ezekiel Proctor and Amina Delic, who ended up having engine failures and did not have a backup car in their underfunded cars, will not start this race. Neither will Mason Powers, so that leaves us down to just 18 drivers. And out of this race, we know one driver in particular will have a past champions provisional and will start either 42nd no matter where they finish in this race, or if they win this race, they will start 41st and not have to use that past champions provisional. And that driver is Eric Burton. He is the most previous champion, and the previous champions that are in this race is Season 9 champion Eric Burton, Season 8 champion Sean Perkins, and also you got Season 7 champion of Jordan Davis. So Season 7, 8, and 9 champions are in this race, but the Season 7 and 8 champion of Jordan Davis and Sean Perkins, they have to, no matter what, win this race. That's what they have to do. And we are guaranteed to have drivers that are big names to this sport miss this Daytona 500 tonight, because there's not enough starting positions for all these drivers. Because look at these drivers like Dylan Young, past Daytona 500 winner, past Daytona 500 winner and champion of Sean Perkins. There's James Fox, who's also got like 8 wins in his career. He's there as well. And also you got Jordan Davis and Zachary Fitzwater as well, past championship contender. There's guys right in this race that are big names to the sport, and we are guaranteed to at least have one of them, and a couple of them, miss this Daytona 500. But they are lined up on the inside and outside row of what their Gatorade duels were. Gatorade duel number 1, Nathan Timberlake, who was so close to racing his way in, slingshotting Zebulon Stark for that last transfer position, trying to upset and get in. Nathan Timberlake just couldn't quite get it done. He needed a few more laps before that caution came out. And also Dylan Young right there, if Jeffrey Lynn was still on the racetrack and if Jeffrey Lynn was inside the top 20 and he finished 20th where he finished, Dylan Young would have been in the Daytona 500, but Jeffrey Lynn parked his car, so that means top 19 only got in, and Young finished 20th, so he is on the outside the front row. And man, this ought to be a showdown here. 30 laps is a really showdown here. Who gets into the Daytona 500 to start 41st and 42nd? This is, like I said, your last chance to make this race. And basically with Eric Burton holding the last spot to get in, this means you have to win this race. And if Eric Burton does go out and win this race, then second placement transfers as well. Nathan Timberlake, one of the most underfunded cars out here, leads us to the green flag because he was 21st in Gatorade duel number 1. Green flag is out in the last chance race. Pretty crazy to think about, but we have 3 past Daytona 500 winners right here in this last chance race. We have Dylan Young, Sean Perkins, and also Alan Cavanaro in this race that are also past Daytona 500 winners, and we are guaranteed to have 2 of them go home. And maybe all 3 of them could go home if somebody like Fitzwater gets up there and upsets. So right now, Dylan Young and Eric Burton would get into the Daytona 500. It would be Dylan Young 41st and Eric Burton taking the 42nd and final starting position. Sean Perkins does not have a chance to use his past champions provisional because of Eric Burton's most recent championship. So top 5 kind of break away here, and it's the top 5 guys I expected to break away here. And Alan Smith trying to get up there, but not really able to do anything right here. Teammates of Alan Cavanaro and Daniel Voyle is trying to get up there. There's Palateños right there as well. Basilio Gomez. You know, one guy who's trying to cut clear as much as he can of everyone back here is Jordan Davis. Davis, he doesn't have enough time to get up there. He is our most oldest champion in this last chance race so far, so he has no choice but to try and run as hard as he can. But with all these slow cars in his way, it's gonna be pretty tough on him to get up there and battle. But boy, they're really close in the back there. I just saw them. They're nearly wrecking everywhere. But like I said, up front, top 5 are single file. Here comes Zachary Fitzwater with a run up high here. Fitzwater, he's got 2 wins in his career, and I don't really know where one of them went, but I know he won in South Boston in season 16. And Fitzwater in the ARCSOA car goes right on by Dylan Young, and now is Fitzwater who will be able to start 41st. Everyone in this pack right here is battling for that 41st starting position. It's the last spot that's really anyone's fighting for. Zach Fitzwater, Dylan Young, Sean Perkins, and James Fox are all battling to try and be in this 500 via the 41st starting position, because right now Eric Burton, unless Eric Burton gets up there and leads this pack, everyone will be battling for that 41st starting spot. Boy, I would never have thought of a Mace Enterprises car nearly probably going to end up missing a race here. Jordan Davis not making himself look much good in the Mace stable there, with him trying to run down this second pack here all by himself, right up to these guys here. Look at the draft he gets off these guys here. This is the 10th through 5th place car right here. He goes right by Basilio Gomez. He goes right by Daniel Voyles, or at least he's trying to. And then there's Alan Cavanaro, who's going to get right up in front of him in hopes of getting a push here. And then right up in front of him there, I think that's Alan Smith and Palateños trying to run that front pack down. But without any fast friends to help him get up there, I think it's pretty much all done for Jordan Davis here. Believe it or not, Nathan Timberley is actually just as quick, if not quicker, than these other guys here. Look at this, 2:29 into the turn there. Him and Palateños are actually making good time here. And with Jordan Davis coming up here with the pack as well, they might be able to run them down here. They're going 2:23 and they're going 2:23 as well, so who knows? They may be able to do something here if they can get somebody like Jordan Davis leading this pack around. And here comes Jordan Davis once again. He's coming up really quick, right around Palateños, and is trying to get around Alan Smith, but Smith is going to try and throw the block there and try and get a push assist here, because Alan Smith came really close to beating Zebulon Stark and Gabriel Duel number 1. I'm sure he's really upset and wants to try and get into this race here, but with them racing really hard here, it's not helping their chances of catching the front pack here. Basically what Jordan Davis right now is saying to these guys right here, stay in line and push me. That's all he's trying to say. And he's running pretty good lap times there, 2:25 off the turn, and he actually slowed down through the turn for some reason. But, yeah, just like these guys here, it's still Zachary Fitzwater leading the charge up front, with Sean Perkins right behind there, with James Fox and Dylan Young. And here comes Young with a really good draft up high there, but I don't think it's going to be good enough to take the lead there. But Fitzwater looking good right now. Battle for the lead going on up front. Sean Perkins dove to the inside of Fitzwater here, but the outside has been proven to be a very good line here. And Fitzwater is trying to hold the spot on Perkins. Perkins, a past Daytona 500 winner, would love to be able to be in this 500. He doesn't really want to miss this race. The Rising Group brought their best equipment to this race. So has everyone else here. Eric Burton just kind of hanging back here, not being in the fray here. Fitzwater giving it his heart out here today. And Sean Perkins, Dylan Young, and James Fox are going to try all they can. Here comes James Fox giving it his heart out here on the high side, all by himself too. Just went right on by them two guys, and now is alongside Fitzwater here for the lead. And Young is going to jump up high with him here. Look at Fox all by himself, went right by all three of them. All by himself, James Fox in the Yamp Motorsports car. The only Yamp Motorsports car that did not transfer via the Gatorade Duels. It was all because of a pit road miscalculation and an incident on pit road. And Fox is now by about 2 or 3 car lengths or 4 car lengths ahead of Fitzwater. And what a run there. That was a fast lap by himself too on the high side. did Silver Fox, and he's got like 7 car lengths ahead of Fitzwater, and here comes Eric Burton to charge around the top side here. So now, if Burton can finish 2nd or higher, then Burton wouldn't have to use a past champions provisional, but he's guaranteed 42nd at least, no matter what, if he does not win this race here. But there's your guys that would transfer right now as they complete the halfway point. For some reason, just about really right here 10 to go, Dylan Young and Sean Perkins have kind of lost touch here with the front pack. And Dylan Young, he's kind of falling backwards where he's with nobody, and Jordan Davis, that might be his only good chance right here, is to try and catch Dylan Young, the draft with him to get up here to this pack. But right here, Perkins is still in the draft here, but Dylan Young, he kind of fell off really far back. I think Perkins and Young were trying to time their drafting move perfectly for a slingshot draft to try and get up there, just like Silver Fox did earlier to take the lead, so that he could try and get up there and battle here. But Young fell off the draft, and Sean Perkins, he better not hang back anymore or he'll lose the draft as well. Battle for the lead looking here, Burton peeking low, and I don't know if that's a good idea there. And here comes Perkins. That's the draft that he's been looking for. He's been looking to try and get a slingshot draft just like that. Slingshotted right past Zachary Fitzwater, but they're losing touch with this front pack here, and that's not what they need to have happen. Perkins just made Fitzwater drop off really far back because of that right there, and Fitzwater, that might have been what Perkins needed there. Now he's trying to run down Silver Fox here, and Fitzwater is losing the pack now. Young has really lost out on this draft. Look at him, he's fallen way back here. Yes, I think Dylan Young dropped a cylinder. I think Young has really dropped a cylinder. He's only going like almost nearly 210 now, but with all these other underfunded cars nearly going 230 mile an hour, and he can barely get it over to 210 mile an hour right there. Dylan Young has definitely lost a cylinder. Season 10 Daytona 500 winner will not make this Daytona 500. Meanwhile, up front, while Eric Burton and James Fox are playing games here, Burton for a while had the 41st starting position and James Fox had the 42nd. Now it is swapped to 41st and 42nd starting position. And Sean Perkins, meanwhile, for the back, is trying to stay within a good distance to be able to slingshot his way back up there. Perkins is a smart champion, so Silver Fox better not let his guard down or he'll miss this Daytona 500, because I know Perkins will give it his heart out when the time counts here. 6 laps to go. As you can see, all the slow cars just flew right by Dylan Young. And, yep, that one little cylinder problem is going to end up costing Dylan Young terrible break, because, you know, Dylan Young, he was going to be the quickest guy in group qualifying session number 2, but then Jeffrey Lynn, Charles Sanford, Zachary Fitzwater, they all ran a quicker lap time than him right there at the last minute of the qualifying session, when Dylan Young was the quickest all that session. If they did not pick up and Dylan Young would have stayed on the front row for the Daytona 500, Young would have been in on time trial speed, but it was not meant to be. And Dylan Young is going to miss the Daytona 500 due to losing the top spot in qualifying late in the going to that pole day quit session. Sean Perkins is testing his ground. He has really lost a lot of ground here. He needs to try and find as much ground on Burton as possible, because if he messes around anymore, he's going to allow Burton and Silver Fox to pull away there. Zachary Fitzwater, who has been a real strong driver here for the most part for this Speed Weeks, has lost his front pack, and his chances of making the 500 are done. And Perkins, his chances might be done too, because he's kind of lost a lot of ground here. And look at the distance they pulled on him. So it looks like the front 2 up there is going to race their way into the last chance race to be into the Daytona 500. 2 to go for Silver Fox. Boy, James Silver Fox has not won a Sony Cup Series race since season 15, when he was driving for Mace Enterprises, and that's been a long time. It's been 4 seasons. And even though this is just a little mini race where it's only like 18 drivers, this is probably going to be a confidence booster for James Fox. He's got a fast team underneath him, a team capable of winning the championship and winning races this season. He's drafting along with Eric Burton, his good old friend there. Burton looks like he's not going to have to use a past champions provisional, because he looks like he's going to race his way into the Daytona 500 based off just finishing in the top 2 where he needed to finish at the start of the race. So yeah, Burton's going to finish 42nd. Well, he's going to start 42nd, not based off a past champions provisional, but just by where he needed to finish. He needed to finish in the top 2 to race your way in. But James Fox, the only Yap Motorsports car that did not race his way in via the Gatorade Duels. And with all the stress on the mind of the driver here, Fox is going to pull it out here and race his way in to the Daytona 500. Fox is first to capture the flag in the last chance race. The lights did not go out on him here Thursday night. His Daytona 500 hopes still come intact, and he will start 41st in the Daytona 500 on Sunday. Boy, with all these other big name drivers in this race as well, you had to think maybe Fox might have been the underdog this race, with guys like Perkins, Fitzwater, Jordan Davis trying to fight with him here for this spot, and Dylan Young. But it all played out for him. A slingshot draft around nearly the halfway point of the race. The draft past 3 guys to take the lead was the point to get Fox in the lead to where it counted the most. Once he took the lead from all 3 of them guys by himself, may I add, that was the move of the race for James Fox. And that will put him into the Daytona 500, and Eric Burton will be in, not by a Champions Provisional. He was going to be locked in no matter what based off a Champions Provisional, but he raced his way in by finishing 2nd, and will finish, and will start 42nd in the Daytona 500 on Sunday. So, to everyone else that missed the race, I'm sorry. There's going to be many races this season. Anyone can try and attempt from qualifying in. And then we got more special races of Indianapolis and Washington, D.C. later this season. But any other race this season, y'all can attend if y'all want to. Just go through the qualifying session and try and qualify in on speed. But, man, James Fox and Eric Burton, 2 big-name drivers of the series in the last chance race. Guys that kind of got screwed over in their Gatorade Duel. Kind of deserve to be in the Daytona 500, and they proved to themselves and proved to everyone else that they deserved a spot in the 500 with their runs here in the last chance race. Congratulations to James Fox and Eric Burton. We'll see you for Daytona, guys, for the 500.